Hey, happy Wednesday morning to you, everyone, and welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. I'm sitting here reading a really good, it's almost a brand new book by Gary DeMar, my friend from Georgia. Yeah, it's 2017. It's only a couple of years old. It is entitled Wars and Rumors of Wars. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any in stock that I can offer to you, but I'll try to take care of that. What it is, Gary has done an excellent job in cataloging the fulfillment of the verses that I'm about to read to you. We are studying the Olivet Discourse. Pardon me. Jesus predicted the destruction of the temple. The disciples asked, "When shall these things be? What shall be the sign of your coming and the end of the age?" I've shared with you over the last couple of days how important it is to set these events and Jesus' answer within the proper parameters, the proper framework, and that is the lifetime of the apostles, because of Jesus' warnings about premature statements of the nearness of the end. Now, I want you to keep this something in mind. What did the disciples ask? What shall be the sign of the end of the age? Jesus said in the parallel passage, Luke chapter 21 and verse 8, "Many will come in my name saying, 'I am he,' and the end has drawn near." What end is under consideration? The end of the age. Now watch this. In Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 and following, Jesus said, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." What end? The end of the age. What end have the disciples asked about? The end of the age that the temple represented. They haven't asked about any other end of any other age. And now Jesus is directly answering their question about the end of the age that they have asked about. And Jesus said, many are going to come saying prematurely, the end has drawn near. Don't believe them. You will see the signs, then you can know and you can declare that the end has drawn near. And they did. And now Jesus is continuing his discussion of the end that they have asked about, saying, "You will hear wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." Now, folks, it takes a good bit of theological gymnastics to make this end any other end than what the disciples asked about. Where's the exegetical evidence to suggest that Jesus is talking about a different end from what they asked about? There is no such evidence. They ask about the end of the age. Jesus is saying, well, there are going to be declarations that the end is drawn near. Don't believe it, but there will be wars and rumors of wars, famines, earthquakes, pestilence, etc. But the end is not yet. Now, Luke's version says, the end is not immediately. Okay? Not immediately. However, there is a significance to them. Now, I don't have to tell you that we are constantly bombarded with newspaper exegesis or eisegesis that tells us, you know what, there has never been a time in which the world has ever seen so many earthquakes. And just look at Ethiopia and the constant famine that is there, and in India and Pakistan and around the world. And look at the pestilence. Look at the Ebola that broke out in Africa I mean, everywhere you look, there's wars and rumors of wars. My goodness gracious, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. And over the last 2 days, Hamas has been lobbing missiles into Israel. Wars and rumors of wars. That must mean that we are near the end of the age. No. Remember, Jesus told those living apostles that they would see these things. Now, some years ago, I began writing a book on the Olivet Discourse. I got sidetracked. But when I got to these verses, for instance, you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. I dug back into the ancient primary sources. The Roman historians, Tacitus, Suetonius, even read Seneca, read Josephus. And I discovered that from the time Jesus spoke these words until 70 AD, there were at the very least, no less than 45 major military insurrections, attempts at invasion. You always have the Parthians out there on the east. You had the Roman border being threatened by the Celtics, the barbarians, what have you. No less than 45 different insurrections and wars. It was such a horrible period of time in many ways. And by the way, this generally was outside even the land of Israel. This was in the broader Roman Empire. And then, beginning about 64, 65, with Florus in Jerusalem and the Jews beginning to revolt, you had all sorts of rebellions breaking out in the land of Israel against the Roman rule. No less than 45 conflicts. No less than 45 horrific pogroms. Did you know that in Alexandria in Egypt, during the 60s, in an outbreak of hatred against the Jews, over 50,000 Jews were killed in one single day. Doesn't count the days that followed. 50,000 Jews in one single day. That's in the 60s. So, the point here is that during that generation, and oh, by the way, yes, there was earthquakes. Acts 12, Acts 16. That's just a couple of examples. Yes, there were famines. Acts 11, 28 and following. There were such horrible pestilences. And again, Gary DeMar's book does a great job giving you the historical sources for the fulfillment of wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, earthquakes, famines. Every single one of the things that Jesus listed, including the false prophets, including the false apostles, yes, every single one of them fulfilled in the first century. Now, I'm not spending a lot of time to chronicle each one of these things. I'm going to discuss them a little bit more. However, I'm pointing to something, and that will be down in verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. These are the beginning of the birth pains. This is incredibly significant. And you don't want to miss that discussion. In the meantime, don't forget, be sure to take advantage. I mean, time's almost up. During, the rest of this month, March 2019 only, into all the world then comes the end, the last days identified. Folks, these will help you get a tremendous handle on, even on the Olivet Discourse. Regular price for these two books is almost $35 for the month of March. I mean, a couple of days left here, and that's it. Month of March 2019, total delivered price, $25. Go to my website, donkpreston.com, BibleProphecy.com. There's a banner up at top. Just click it, follow the clicks, follow the tabs, and order the books. Listen, you will be really, really glad that you did. Okay, we're going to begin looking at this incredibly important subject of the birth pangs of Messiah on the flip side. So I'll see you there.